here's a few things that people have told me my whole entire life. Do you ever talk? Are you antisocial? Why are you so quiet? Are you unhappy? Now, I know that you've probably seen these phrases everywhere, from books to bumper stickers to little buttons, anything you can think of. People are mocking or making fun of such things, and they're actually saying it to us. You can either sit back and just take it, or stand up for yourself. Now, I am quiet and definitely an introvert, but I also love doing other things that may not seem so much like going to loud concerts. Especially, I am a heavy metal head, and I love my heavy metal. I have all my whole life, from the hair bands all the way up to the music they have these days. Introverted and quiet, but I definitely have another side to me. Now, what I'd like to know from you, are you the same way? Tell me some things about your introverted life. And if you continue to listen, I'd like to know more about everybody, how they respond to people, how people respond to them, what your life has been like. And I'll tell you all about mine, up to my 50 years so far, and why, despite everything, I would never change being who I am. Being this introvert, being quiet, because I enjoy it. I do. It's me. So thank you for listening, and I hope to see you on the next video. I think this was the hardest time for me in my whole entire life, learning to deal with being quiet and introverted. Hi again. This is part 2 of being an introvert at 50 years old. And here we go. This time I'd like to cover what it was like being an introvert or shy child when you were a child. I would like to know from you if you have always been an introvert as far as you could remember from the beginning, or if you grew into it for some reason, or if something happened to make you change to this. What is your story? My story, I was a normal little kid. I had lots of cousins and friends and schoolmates growing up, a fun time, until I was around 2nd grade, and then things changed. That's around that time in 3rd grade that I discovered that things had changed for me. I had a lot of traumatic and dramatic things happen at that time that changed who I became. That's where it started. I had a couple more steps that helped push me more into the way that I learned and who I became after that. But at this first time, it was a big change, and the schools weren't the same anymore. I stopped learning how to relate to other kids. It's like other kids didn't want me around anymore. I didn't know how to act around them. I was awkward. And I do kind of blame this on the dramatic events that happened to me when I was young. But I never outgrew it after that. So, how did you come into this yourself? Because people didn't understand back then what was wrong. My parents tried to get me to be more social with the kids and join school groups and school sports and other activities that kids were in. I joined the Girl Scouts and basketball team and a volleyball team and a newspaper in school. But I still just couldn't navigate my way around the social workings of kids. From little kids in second grade and up, all my whole school years, all the way up through high school, I was just an awkward kid. And a lot of it back then was because of being shy and not having self-confidence. That's another thing that people say introverts, well, why you can and why you can't be an introvert is if you do or don't have confidence. And this is a big issue. I believe it gets mixed up with confidence and being shy and being introverted all together. I don't consider myself shy. Okay. The other people see me that way because I'm quiet. And I always have been since I was a kid. And back then in school, they'd say I was extremely shy. And I think I was back then more, because I didn't know who I was. I was still a little kid that had no control over anything. Nothing at all. Little artist and writing. Now, do introverts like to write? Do you? I found myself writing a lot. I had notebooks and loose leaf paper books, chapter keepers full of all kinds of notes and doodles and drawings and sketches that I did all the time. And then I discovered reading. Reading was the best, wonderful thing that I had ever seen in school when you were younger. And what it was like knowing that you were kind of different than the other kids. So, tell me what your story is, and let's go from there. I'll talk to you again later. Bye.